happening, y'all, and welcome back. This is episode 141 of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. I am your host, the self-knighted Sir Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined as always by my co-host Mara the Shark Watkins, who's got herself together now because she was struggling to not just bust apart at the seams with laughter.
You like that?
You gotta say hi or yeah, okay. I mean, you already
Absolutely
did.
not.
You said hello, so we did hear you.
Did I?
You did.
Did you?
We did. We heard and saw you, actually. There's like video evidence and audio and everything. So we saw it come from your lips. Unless you all are just listening to the audio version and not watching on YouTube or Pornhub, because we are the number one Arrowverse podcast on Pornhub. But you should also subscribe to the YouTube, though. Like, just watch us on YouTube and just hit the little subscribe button. It's free. Like, it doesn't cost you nothing. And it helps us out because, you know, algorithms and shit. So subscribe, please. Por favor.
Pretty please.
Yeah. That's about as nice as I'm going to get this podcast. So let's talk about what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the Arrowverse on the CW. You know, Supergirl, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Stargirl, Superman and Lois. Got all of them?
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that. I'm starting to remember them all. Yay me. Yeah. But we only got 2 shows this week. We only got Supergirl and The Flash. So which one would you like to start with, Mara?
Neither.
You want to pretend this week didn't happen? That's fine.
I kind of do. Let's just start with Supergirl.
All right. So this episode of Supergirl was called what?
A Few Good Women.
You can't handle the truth. We didn't even get that line. They gave us that title. You know, just disappointment all around, Mara. Disappointment all around. So this episode kicks off. Some dude's breaking into some place. Some security guard gets fucked up. He like then bears
It's
his
a
teeth.
blood bank.
And I'm like, oh, a vampire? Okay, that's what we're doing now. Are we really scraping the bottom of the barrel like this now? I know it's the last season, but damn. Then the team shows up, catches him.
Supernatural's over now, so someone else has to hunt all the bad stuff.
I guess. Turns out it's not actually a vampire, it's some alien, and I guess he's the alien that all the vampire stories and shit are based off of. Blah 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 blah.
Planet Transylvania.
Yeah.
Which is probably what it sounds like.
Yeah. Transylvania in space. But apparently they want his help. That's why they're after him. Supergirl, she's in the Phantom Zone. They're like, yo, you've gone into the Phantom Zone before. You know how to do it. You can get us out. Help us get Supergirl out. We got a little bit of flash of Supergirl in the Phantom Zone. Things are not well because clearly it's the Phantom Zone, so it sucks.
Right. Things aren't good. It's not a good time.
Yeah, so vampire alien dude talking to them about the Phantom Zone. Apparently it's called the Phantom Zone because there are phantoms in there. And I'm like, I always understood that it was just like some kind of void. And it was like, you know, a lot of like floating in nothingness. But now there's phantoms there. That's what y'all doing? Okay.
Sure, phantoms.
Like, this is what we're doing? Okay. So it also turns out that once they get into the Phantom Zone, Dreamer will have to be the one to figure out where Supergirl is using her Dreamer powers and dream about it and shit. But she don't control her powers
become
like that.
More complex, like every like half a season, like they become more complex. I'm just like, I feel like most of her powers manifest out of convenience.
Basically, she's like, oh, she has the dream power. So she can dream anything. So we can just have her do everything because she can dream it.
Right. If you can dream it, you can do it.
Amen. That's what my guidance counselor said.
Same thing like with Alex's weapon. Like he's have a weapon that really can just produce anything you need conveniently at that
Yeah,
moment.
that works perfectly, which would have been very useful last week so that Supergirl doesn't get sent to the Phantom Zone.
But yet there she is.
Yeah, yeah. Like she can just be like, "Yo, I need a device that can get us into the Phantom Zone," and have it in her hand. But like,
Why haven't they done that yet?
because it makes too much sense, and it would destroy the whole story arc that they created. That's convoluted and makes no sense. You can
Okay.
tell I wasn't too high on this episode.
No.
Um, then we got
Someone
Andrea.
took
Go
yeah,
ahead.
keep going.
Someone took what?
I jumped ahead.
Okay, so we got Andrea Catco. She's talking about the Lex Luthor trial. She wants Nia and William to be the helms of this whole thing. She's like, yo, we're going to take this motherfucker down because fuck Lex Luthor. And I feel you. It's always fuck Lex Luthor. But yeah.
That it is.
Yeah. So then we got Lex in prison, visitation, talking to his mama. Apparently she's like, yo, you gonna lose this shit, so take the fucking plea deal.
Right.
Like
take the plead guilty. I'm not finna be embarrassed.
Yeah. The Luthor name, like, you care more about the Luthor name than you do about me. And she's like, yeah,
the Luthor name is money.
Yeah 100%. I care more about the Luthor name than you. Yeah, if it comes down to that, or you, fuck you.
What did you think this was?
Because, like I said, it's always fuck Lex Luthor. So, might be why he's such a bitter young man or old man or however old man he is.
I was gonna say, how old is Lex Luthor actually?
I don't know. I'd guess probably like upper 30s, low 40s.
Yeah. Seems like he's been around long enough to hold a grudge.
Yeah. You want to probably look at how old Superman is, how old Clark is, and it's probably around the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Which they've kept very ambiguous, so I don't really know how old they are either on Superman and Lois.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, like, what year is it for them, because their kids are teenagers.
Yeah.
But like they never said I don't know, like they've never stated anything about them having like hyper growth or like hyper aging.
Right. I doubt that, because I think they grew up normally. But
exactly.
But
which
Crisis,
is why I'm just like,
so who knows?
Because when Crisis happened, Lois was still in very early of her pregnancy, I believe, or right before Crisis she was, and then after Crisis
they got two kids.
Twins. Yeah, they had two kids, and then we get to this season, and now they're like in ninth or 10th grade.
Yeah. They're freshmen. It's 9th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Supergirl in the Phantom Zone. Somebody finds her because she's like got the phantoms all over. She's like just not doing well. Turns out it's her father. Which, do we believe it's actually her father?
I just don't understand how, when he found her, didn't think about the possibilities of who she was when he saw the sigil on her chest, because that's what he said. That's why he saved her.
Well, he said he thought she was a figment of his imagination.
Okay.
He thought it was the phantoms fucking with him. Yeah.
He was very okay, because he was very much like Kara when she said father.
Yeah, when he was like, you bear the sigil of my house, so no doubt you're here to fuck with me. Something to that effect. And that's when she's like, no, this is the sigil of the House L. And he looks back at her, and then she says father first, and he's like, Kara? Yeah. So I mean, that part tracks. I have a hard time 100% buying into the fact that it's actually him. But we'll see.
I feel like it's not going to end well for him.
Probably not.
If it is. I was like, there's no way that, because especially with Argo being fine, and her mom being there, I was just like, there's no way she gets both.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way she
Well,
gets
here's the thing.
this
That's
kind of
that's
happy.
the it's my rule. I don't know if you've heard about my rule as far as what good television is. The rule for having good television: nobody gets to be happy. There's always something that's not right. Therefore, you still have conflict. Therefore, you still have TV. Nobody
Touche.
gets to be happy. And that's how you make sure you have a good show.
Touche.
So, yeah, he's gonna die if it's actually him,
He's gonna die, or he's gonna turn out to be bad,
and then still
he's
die.
he's gonna have to stay in the Phantom Zone. Like he's not leaving that bitch.
Yeah,
Not in a good way.
sacrifice himself so she can get out or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, he sent himself there though because he was
So
like,
that he
"Yo,
wouldn't die.
yeah." He was like, "Oh, this ain't gonna work out. The planet's about to blow up. I go into the Phantom Zone or I die. Phantom Zone it is."
Which I'd be like, which one is actually worse though?
Well, one you're alive, the other you're not.
I guess. But you're alive somewhere that you could be tortured.
But you're alive.
I guess. I guess I'm just thinking of the quality of the life that I'm living at that point.
Possibly.
But then so Andrea and Lena then chat back here on Earth.
Well, let's not skip the fact that he wants her to just not resist the Phantoms and just like let them do whatever they want and shit. And Kara ain't with that shit. But
yeah, that's why I was just like, yeah, that's not gonna end well because he's really just like, just accept that we're gonna be here forever. You may not die, but you won't. But you get to live.
right. So what were you saying, Andrea and Lena?
Oh, they were talking. Andrea asked Lena to go on record since she's not testifying. Lena pretty much gives her a nicer way of saying "fuck off."
Yeah. Eat a dick is what she tells her because like, yo, you're not gonna just use me for an interview. Like,
Just so you can get your publications up.
yeah, like fuck you and your paper. Um, then we get a Kelly appearance here. That's her name, right? Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
When they're working on the machine, and Alex comes in stating that they can get it running by like the end of the day.
and he's
And
like, yo, this took months. Like,
we need months to test this shit that we won't burn up going through it. And Kelly had to talk him down to be like, no, it's okay, it's fine.
Yeah, but that was her contribution because they're paying her, so they have to give her something to do. Which
they gotta make her give like some kind of inspirational speech so that Alex still feels like shit that she has not told Kelly about Kara being Supergirl.
Yeah, so they and the thing is, she's only on the show because Jimmy's gone, so it's just like
she's our diversity.
They really don't know what to do with her, so they just had her do this because she wasn't needed for this scene. Any other character there could have done this. So
Alex could have done this by herself.
Definitely.
Anywho, and then so the trial starts for Lex for his crimes against humanity.
They got a virtual jury.
And he literally took control of that first opening day.
Yeah. Poor Tessmacher. My thing is, what made the prosecution think that this would work? Like they didn't even consider the fact that the jury may look at it like, oh, jilted lover. Like, you didn't consider that at all? Nope. Your whole case hinged on her.
They weren't thinking that far ahead. They were like, oh, it's open and close.
But it's not. Like your entire case hinges on her, and she's without a doubt a jilted lover. So even if what she's saying is true, they can paint it that way, create reasonable doubt. All he needs is reasonable doubt.
Yep.
That's the problem. If you needed more than just, if you didn't need reasonable, beyond reasonable doubt, then fine. If you just had to have more people believe you than not believe you, it would be fine. But you got to go beyond reasonable doubt. You throw this one little in there, reasonable doubt exists now.
That's still what happened.
And you would think someone who is educated in our legal system would know this before they went to trial and had this whole thing happen.
You would think so.
Who went to law school and studied this stuff and then spent years actually as like an actual prosecutor doing this, because you don't become a prosecutor in like a federal court where you have like a national jury and shit, like without having some years of experience where you would know better than to do such a thing. Because this guy who's never set foot in law school in his life,
you would think
do
so.
better.
You would think so.
The shit makes no sense, Mara. Why are they doing this?
Why not?
There's so much left. Okay. Then we cut back to the shit that's happening with the little machine thing. John being all forceful and shit. Like we don't know who this character is. He's a completely different person at this point. I don't know what's happening. He has a talk with Magan. He's like, "You're acting like a father. You're not being logical." And I'm like, you can try to explain that away, but that doesn't change the fact that you're presenting me with a completely different character than he has been over 5 seasons.
Yeah.
We talked about Eve on the witness stand. Lex like flipped the script on her.
His feelings.
Yeah. We talked about Eve on the witness stand. Lex flipped the script on her with the whole jilted lover thing. But then Mama Luthor goes to Lena because we know Lena's the last hope, and so does Mama Luthor. She's like, "I'm gonna sell you all my shares in LexCorp so you can keep control and keep him from getting control. Like he won't find a way to take control anyway."
Right. It's kind of just like ma. He's gonna find a way
to
be like, "Oh, you never even had those shares, Mom. They were actually mine this entire time."
Yeah.
So
some shit like that. Exactly.
Right. But, so they weren't yours to sell. So now I just have yours.
But yeah, she's trying to convince Lena not to testify. Lena don't see that shit, of course, but whatever.
Our whole family is fucked.
Yeah. Then we got the whole training time with Dreamer and Brainy's Phantom Zone simulator. She fucks up once and now she's completely doubting herself and she's tripping because, you know.
Right. She's like, what if it works?
Yeah. You don't get it perfectly right the first time in the simulator. Now you're giving up. Like, isn't that the point of the simulation?
It's not how being a superhero works.
It's whatever.
Is it?
Yeah, because I stopped caring, so it's whatever to me.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
There's been a lot of that this season with a lot of shows, Mara.
Because a lot of them are ending.
Like, but I should care more. Why don't I care?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, Superman Lois is interesting because they gave us something new with Superman. That's interesting.
They gave us a different side of Superman.
And like, I don't know what the Flash is doing now. Like, they used to be my go-to. They used to be the one I could count on. You know?
I wish they would announce that the Flash is ending. I wish they would just do that already.
Well, the problem is the Flash has been their best show for so long, they don't want to let it go.
But now it's becoming less of their best show.
Yeah.
I know. The better shows aren't on right now.
I know.
Like, where is Stargirl?
I do miss Stargirl. Ain't that weird?
I haven't been enthused by anything since Stargirl has ended.
Yeah. Well, I've been pretty high on Superman and Lois, like no bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
they're that too.
But like, yeah, like I kind of do just want Stargirl back now, and I never thought I'd say that. But that kind of shows that these shows shouldn't last as long as they do. Like,
yeah,
probably 4 seasons should be it. Like,
or also not so many episodes.
That might help too. That might help too.
I feel like a season with a
Go the
good
Netflix
12,
superhero route. 10 episodes,
yeah,
and
10, 12 episodes that are 45 minutes long each. Like, I'm good. I'm satiated. You can get enough story in there. Look, Marvel doing it every week.
Yeah, they are. They are, because I wasn't hype on Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm like, oh, I'm in. So, anyway, we're not here to talk about Marvel.
Last week's episode.
We're on the Arrowverse. What?
I gotta watch last week's episode later.
Ooh, yeah, you do. But so we cut back to the Phantom Zone. Supergirl not buying that whole not resisting the Phantoms thing. She walks out, gets attacked by the Phantoms. Her daddy come in like, leave her alone. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
I got powers. That's my daughter.
Yeah. Then we cut back to the courtroom. Lena's testifying now.
Yo, first off, the way she walked into that courtroom, just going off, I was like, this is not how court works. This don't happen in no court.
This is how Arrowverse court works. I don't know. Yeah, that whole back and forth they were having. There's no way the judge would let that keep going. Like,
right?
But whatever.
I watched enough SVU and Criminal Intent to know.
Yes, you've watched enough TV shows about the court to know how real court works.
I've seen enough fake court shows to know that what they did today wasn't even logical for fake court.
You've watched so much fake court that the fake court on here looks more fake than the fake court. I got you.
There we go. You knew exactly what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that whole thing between her and Lex happened, and whatever. He flips the script again because, once again, everybody who can testify against him is incredibly flawed as a witness.
Right. It's just like anyone. And he's smart about how he does it too. Like, he finds a way to leave people who would be squeaky clean out of it, because then it's like, it's not like it's Nia where you would question, like, why would she get involved in that? You have Lena who keeps doing questionable things.
Because Eve's Tessmacher, who's like, I'm in love with you,
but I wouldn't have you.
Yeah. So all that happened. Then alien dude finishes the machine. We find out that Crisis also fucked up the Phantom Zone. So, because Crisis just ruined everything.
His name is Silas.
Oh, that's his name?
Yes.
I won't remember next week.
Will he even still be there next week?
I don't know. He got phantoms coming out of his mouth, so I don't know.
This is true.
And then Carl was talking about later, like, yo, that might be our way out. She gonna go out through Vampire Dude's mouth? Like, I mean, I'd enjoy seeing that because that's funny as fuck, but I doubt it. If that's the way Supergirl ends, I'll be satisfied.
Tries to walk out the portal, doesn't make it. Tries to walk through the portal, doesn't make it.
Goes out through his mouth. Like she's exiting the Phantom Zone through Vampire Dude's mouth.
Silas.
Through his mouth. And, her daddy don't make it because he sacrificed himself for her to get through his mouth. And because she's like an actual person, like she like tears his head apart as she comes out of his mouth. And that's the end of Supergirl. Like, end it right there.
It's the series finale.
Yeah, her tearing him apart to exit the Phantom Zone through his mouth.
But then still talking about how much she loves peace.
Exactly. But anyway.
Messed up individuals.
Yeah, so he fixed the little machine, but now phantoms are coming out of the little Phantom Zone shit. There's like multiple Phantom Zones now.
They all stood in front of the fucking portal long enough for phantoms to just come through.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, idiots.
So they fight the Phantoms. Some shit happens to
Silas.
Yeah. And then they send the Phantoms back.
but not all of them.
Yeah, one of them is like inside him, deep inside him. Balls deep.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah. And then Lex is found not guilty because he created reasonable doubt. That's all that was necessary. That's how court works. So
yeah,
when all you have is a couple of very flawed witnesses that can be discredited very easily, that's how you lose trials, people. Like,
don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Especially not a basket with holes in it. Like, anyway,
not a mesh basket.
Then we got this part with Lex talking with his mama, talking real Trumpish right now.
He was just like, "Am I number one again, Mom? Am I good?"
Had that whole thing like, yo, it turns out I don't need people to love me. You just need somebody who just tells it like it is, or even just convinces them that that's like it is, and they don't remember if that's just like it is or if that's what you want them to think it is. I'm like, oh, yeah. It's almost like he's describing how Trump got elected. So we're going towards that Lex Luthor president thing that we got in the comics. So we're just waiting on it.
Yeah.
So it'll happen. Lex will be president. President Luthor.
Eventually.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen here, it'll happen on Superman and Lois. Because
true.
We have
That's why I'm so confused about the continuity of these shows.
Yeah, we'll see.
Whatever.
But yeah, we talked about this earlier. There's something wrong with vampire alien dude. Is phantoms coming out of his mouth now.
Now there's phantoms in the real world.
Yeah, because his mouth is a portal to the Phantom Zone now, and like
I'm sure his mouth is not the portal.
Then what is the portal if they're coming out of his mouth?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think
so. Until you offer me a valid alternative, his mouth is the portal to the Phantom Zone.
Okay.
Then we get Kara seeing them going out through a portal, and he's like, "It's only." Her father's like, "Yo, only stays open long enough for a Phantom to go through." She's like, "All right, well then we need to catch a Phantom." Like,
oh, that's not easy, Kara. That's not light work.
I mean, she got time. She's in the Phantom Zone. She got all the time in the world. But yeah, that was Supergirl. So yeah, Flash.
Sure.
What was the name of this episode,
Mara? Eardrums.
Huh?
You almost blew out my eardrums.
Did I?
Yeah. You said you were like, so, or whatever you said really loud.
Maybe I was just closer to the mic because I didn't feel like I got loud, but okay.
Maybe. This episode is called The One with the 90s. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
That was an actual yawn because I'm sleepy, but that's also how I felt about this episode.
Yeah.
So they're in the 90s because they went back in time because
they were doing something with the
force-powered god thingy, something. Yeah.
So essentially what happens is they're trying to track temporal isotopes, and Chester's been working on something, and then they were like, could we do it on the go to track them?
Wait. So here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with this. The biggest problem. This episode started off with such promise of being one of those episodes of television where there's just a bunch of just like weird craziness that Travis enjoys, because like there's a knight that's fighting random civilians in the street. Okay. Wait, there's a submarine? Wait, a dinosaur? I'm in. And then we got the episode we got.
Essentially, they're trying to track Forza and Psyche, and they go to like this neighboring Mannersville.
Something, yeah.
Something with an M. And then some temporal time thing happens, and they end up in the 90s. Their van's gone, phone's gone.
Blockbuster.
Right. They're in 1998. We also learned that Cisco was born in 91.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what else?
So he's 30 now.
Yeah, he's 30. Which is kind of funny because we were talking about how we don't know how old really anyone is. And
Now we know how old he is. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the closest we've ever gotten to knowing how old any of them are.
Yeah, they stay very ambiguous about that.
But so yeah, so they're going around the city and doing, 90s things, I guess.
Speed Force talks a little bit about how she was attacked because, she's still looking like Barry's mama and doing that shit.
But Iris tells her, Barry doesn't really talk about his mom's death.
Yeah, so you being here looking like his mama is clearly a problem, but I'm going to say it's not a problem because reasons. We got to keep this actress playing the Speed Force, so we got to justify it.
So that we know who she is at all times.
Because honestly, it's like, it's still clearly fucked up that she's manifesting herself as Barry's dead mother. Like,
and she finally started to see that in this episode. She was just like, I could change forms. You should.
You should. You should. You should not be showing yourself as this man's dead mother. Like, this is fucked up.
And I was over here thinking, like, no, it doesn't hurt. It just will help him express himself better. No, Iris.
No, not at all. You're being a bad wife right now. Do better.
That shit hurts.
Look. As fine as you were looking with the fro, like, and whatever she was with the dressing that she was wearing and shit, I'm like, I can almost forgive you for being a Cowboy fan right now.
It's gonna be the last time we'll ever see her like that, even though, Joe made a thing about how she looked, because eventually we do meet with the person who's fucking around with time. It's some Time Lord named Dion.
Yeah, who was also a football player back in '98. So he just like, so is it like a person becomes like a force god thingy later on?
I was
like, what the fuck is happening?
I was a little turned off by the fact that they kept calling him a time god. I was like, is he really a time god, or is he just someone who happened to get powers of time?
He's on the same level as the Speed Force. So is the Speed Force a god?
Yeah, I feel like to a degree, I guess.
Well, then it makes sense for them to call him a time god then, because she said they're like her. So
true. Only because I remember them being like, well, he didn't seem too preoccupied with finding me.
Yeah, but that was Cisco brought up. Like, he didn't mention you at all. She's like, well, he might think I'm still, must not think I survived. And the way she described, the way she was acting, maybe also think there's something up there. Like, what is she hiding? What is Speed Force hiding right now?
Speed Force is always hiding something. Like, Speed Force is like the sussest one of them all. Yeah. But anywho, so the episode has a cute moment where, Chester gets to really talk to his dad and spend some time with him trying to buy a part. He realizes his dad didn't hate him, did everything of all being busy all the time because it was for him.
Yeah, want to like just make this kid who, like, learn from things and like learn to find useful things where other people didn't see useful things and all that kind of stuff. Like, make him into a greater man.
Yep. And I was he wasn't that's so cute.
Yes, it's awesome that he did that, but at the same time, like, yo, give your kid a hug sometimes too.
Right. You can be busy, but hug your children.
Yeah.
Hugs will go a long way. Anywho, there's a slight moment where Cisco forgets how old he is, which is how I deduced how old he was, because he thought he was 7
in 98
with his headgear, and basic math tells you that Cisco was born in 91.
Yeah, his headgear. So, like, when he was 7, clearly he had the braces with the headgear and all that kind of shit. He was, your stereotypical nerdy child at 7.
Yep. feel bad for him because I know that shit probably sucked.
Probably. And then we had the whole Caitlin and Frost roommate moment, which was kind of, it made me chuckle a little bit. That was the bright spot of this episode for me, but it was over so quickly that it almost didn't matter.
Yeah. I did like when time was fucking up and everyone was in like the 80s wear, and I was just like, I like this look for Frost.
That was 70s, but yeah.
70s, okay. Look, I had a hard time trying to figure out what decade they were in.
Yeah,
my notes 70s. My notes were like, did he just put everyone back in the 80s?
That's like late 60s, 70s kind of thing. The whole peace and love kind of shit was then.
Got you.
Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me.
Okay. I always get 70s and 80s confused.
Yeah, 80s is the, just the teen movies. Think Back to the Future. That's what you need to think. You've seen Back to the Future, right? Have we had this conversation before?
Yes.
Okay. Have you actually seen Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay. Have you?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Why?
I don't know.
Why are you making all this questionable doubt for everyone now? Now people are going to be comments. Now
is it everyone or is it just you?
Well, no, because like the way you just take my answer, now everyone's going to be like, well, did she actually see it? People are not going to be in the comments asking that.
If you don't believe Mara actually has seen Back to the Future, say so in the comments. Because, I'm not sure if I believe her.
Of course not.
Have you seen all of them?
No.
Which ones have you seen?
The first one.
So you haven't seen part 2 or 3?
No.
Yeah, this calls for a Netflix party date. Because you need to see these. Because I believe they're all on Netflix right now.
I could agree with that.
Like I specifically remember watching part 2 and part 3 on Netflix recently. When I say recently, I mean within the last 6 months. So it's that it could be gone by now. I don't know. However, wherever they are,
I'm sure they're somewhere. One of these streaming platforms has it, since they're all starting to bunch up together.
Yet at the same time, still separate because, like,
Peacock with NBC, Paramount with like Nick and MTV and all, and just like
yo, why are y'all being so selfish right now?
Why it's not even just the selfish, it's the difficult. It's just like, why?
Yeah, and my thing is, like, I really hate the fact that, like, I love watching good TV and storytelling and shit like that because, like, I can't stop myself from subscribing to these things. The only thing that I'm able to have any control over is the Paramount thing because I literally only subscribe to CBS All Access / Paramount when new Star Trek is there. Because that's the only reason for me looking at that shit is for Star Trek. So they almost got me though when they tried to stagger Star Trek Discovery and Picard, but now neither one of them are running. So nope.
I want to finish the Twilight Zone, but I'll get to that eventually.
I can take it or leave it. It's all about the Trek for me. As far as Paramount goes.
Paramount can suck my left nut. They canceled Ink Master, so I have actually no reason to watch Paramount ever.
I hear you. But we're not here to talk about Paramount and their, mismanagement of their IP. We're still talking about the Arrowverse. We're talking about the Flash in particular. Anything else with the Flash you want to speak about? Because
anywho, Chester and his dad build the machine that they need, but then the time god Dion makes it disappear from existence. And then
so that was a waste.
Yeah. And then he puts everyone in the 70s. And then, it's the last time we'll see Iris in natural hair. We're back to this bitch. The dinosaur. Yeah. we're back to this bitch with the dinosaur in the beginning. Um, Dion realizes that he can change the future instead. He can control it instead of trying to change the past.
Listen,
and I was like, for fuck's sake, how do you guys talk him into that?
My favorite thing about this episode, outside of the, what I mentioned earlier, is the fact that the talk down didn't work. Like, it worked, but it didn't work. Like, Chester trying to talk him down and make him not want to do what he's doing. Because there's been a whole lot of that happening on these Arrowverse shows recently, and I'm
where it's
sick
like
of
you
it.
can talk to them and be like, oh yeah, we can just talk.
Give them a heart to heart, and it's all over.
It's all about love.
Yeah. So I love the fact that it didn't work. He's like, yeah, you're right. I can just change the future. Fuck you, and leaves. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So yeah, you're not done with him. He's gonna ruin your life in another way.
Yep.
Cause fuck y'all for giving me this bullshit.
It's not gonna be a fun time.
Yeah. Barry ends up waking up, and Speed Force.
And you realize how much you didn't care that Barry was in there resting.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, he's still there. It's called the Flash. He's the Flash. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. I don't know, Mara. Anything else of note happened? Because I'm looking at my notes and I'm just keep thinking as I read them, I don't care.
I was a little taken aback by how calm Barry was at the news of them telling him what happened.
Yeah.
And then
I guess when you come to face with the fact that you were supposed to die running on a treadmill and somebody else died running on the treadmill for you, and you've literally faced speed gods and
all kinds of other shit.
You just like, whatever.
What's new? What's new this week?
Okay. Yeah. And so Chester's gonna finish his father's invention. There was that. Then we got Joe going to Frost about Kramer being after her, but Frost don't see that shit. Anything else?
Like, Iris, I don't know. Iris offered Nora to stay with them. Barry looked
not like, Nora.
You know what I'm saying? Like Nora.
I know, but I'm just saying, like
Speed Force Nora. She asked Speed Force Nora.
She told the Speed Force, who is, in the guise of Barry's dead mother, to come stay at their place.
Yeah, and Barry looked almost like, "What are you doing?" if you were to go back and look at that episode, like the look he gave when they walked away together. He looked like something's up, like because they both were, taken aback when Speed Force was like, "Oh, I'll just stay here." What if they come back? And Iris is like, "Well, we'll get an alert. Like we can just get up and get back here. You are faster than speeding light." You are faster than light. So I don't know. I felt like Barry felt the type of way that Iris offered that. Still being a bad wife. I'm trying to force this relationship that doesn't need to be there.
Exactly, because that's not Barry's mother.
Nope. But I see how they're trying to make it seem like, oh, this could be a replacement to talk your feelings out. Nope. My mother is gone.
Because Barry and his blankie.
Yeah, BBB.
Yeah, but that was the Flash. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So that's Super Flashy Arrow of tomorrow, folks. Mara, who's winning this week?
I said that Lex was winning.
I'm 100% with you there because that's what I was thinking.
And
who's losing?
I said losing was Kara because they still didn't get her out. But I was also like, if you want to get meta with it for a second, the future's losing because of Dion just going into the future, just wrecking havoc.
I mean, in that case, if you want to assign it to an individual character, you can put it on Chester because he set that in motion. So,
I'm gonna stick with Kara though.
Oh no, I'm about to say I'm with you on Kara though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick.
We
with
are in
Kara.
100% agreement this week as far as who's winning and losing.
That's the best part about there only being 2 episodes. There's less characters to think it through. It's a very clear who won, who lost.
Yeah. So that's it for this week's episode of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Do not forget you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at The Creation World. That is at TheCreatia World. As always, I'm not going to tell you how to spell world. Get a fucking dictionary. Also, Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. We have a Facebook group though for this particular podcast, Mara. Do we not?
No.
No, we don't.
No.
It's all been a figment of my imagination.
No. Facebook got shut down.
Oh, it got shut down?
Yeah.
Was it the meme about the thing?
Mark Zuckerberg put his penis on the internet and they had to shut it down.
Oh, so like all of Facebook?
All of Facebook. It's all.
Damn. I ain't even know.
But when it comes back up, the group link for that is facebook.com/group/superflashyarrow of tomorrow. I'm told it should be back up within the next 5 minutes after they've done scrubbing our brains of.
I was about to say scrubbing his penis.
His wee-wee.
Are they scrubbing Mark Zuckerberg's penis?
Nope, they're erasing everyone's brains through Facebook.
Oh, is that why I don't remember that happening?
Yeah.
Oh.
I haven't been on yet. I just know the news.
I see. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Also, if you're a wrestling fan, do not forget Smacking It Raw still happens every week with the hosted by the Warden, Matt Ritter, and Vince Daddy Delgado, with occasional appearances by yours truly. I'll probably be on this week's episode because this week is WrestleMania. So, yeah. Mara, will you be attending our WrestleMania hangout party this weekend?
I'm hoping so. You have to remind me what day it is.
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
It's also on the calendar, by the way. Like, that's why we have a Google Calendar, like, with all of our stuff. Even though this is an actual, like, legit work that we'll be doing, you know.
Sunday.
Hanging out and chilling is fun.
I'll be tuning in Sunday after work, definitely. Saturday, maybe not so much.
Oh, you got plans on Saturday?
No, I work 5 to 10.
Oh, yeah, it'll be over by then, I think. Yeah.
But I'm off at 7 on Sunday, so.
Oh, yeah, you can hang out with us on Sunday while we watch wrestling. The rest of y'all aren't invited. This is a company thing only. Like, we're literally discussing us hanging out right now instead of talking about podcast stuff, but, you know. But I figure it'd be easier to get her to commit to hanging out with us, like, during a recorded show than, like, outside of it, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did last year, but I was working from home then, so.
And I wasn't working at all. So
you were just like,
I was furloughed, just doing whatever the fuck I want. That was fun. Like, I spent 2 months just not doing shit. You know how much fun it is not doing anything?
Yes.
And some would say, oh, I got so bored, I didn't do anything. I'm like, no. I loved not doing anything.
I was good on that.
Yeah. Anyway, though.
The Facebook group for that is facebook.com/group/smacking it raw.
That's correct.
Smacking with no G.
No G in smacking. Right. What else we got going on? Oh, the Patreon. Patreon.com/Creation World. Go there. You know, throw $1 or so there. You get extra shit. You get early shit. You know, just $1.
$1 makes us holla.
Yeah. And apparently there's a problem with our merch store right now. I'm working on that. But yeah. Cool.
Don't worry, it'll be back up and running.
Yeah, it'll be fine soon. We mentioned the YouTube earlier, but still subscribe to the YouTube. You know.
Do it so I can make it a nice link so it's not all that gibberish.
Yeah. That's it. We'll end this episode here.
We'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah. We'll catch y'all next week. Until then, we out.
Bye.